So let's take a closer look at what's in this plan and its prospects for becoming law with Carrie Johnson of NPR. Hello, Carrie. So we've just heard Mark Holden's explanation. Anything you would add from your perspective of somebody who's been watching this for a long time?
Yeah, I think I've been covering these issues for 6 years, and today really felt like a breakthrough. The notion that President Trump, who campaigned on law and order, has actually thrown his weight behind a plan that would reduce some prison sentences for convicted drug criminals is a big deal. As one advocate told me, it's a Nixon goes to China moment. We'll see if Majority Leader Mitch McConnell in the Senate actually makes the time to get this done this year. We know that Paul Ryan, who's leaving the House at the end of this Congress, has made it a priority, so all eyes are on the Senate at this point.
Well, one thing that has changed is the departure of former Attorney General Jeff Sessions. We know he was very opposed to this. Is his absence now going to make a difference?
I think it is meaningful, Judy. Acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker is not opposed to this plan at all, this First Step Act, and he's conveyed that to the White House. Jeff Sessions really dug his feet in and seemed to oppose any changes to sentencing laws, which this plan does now cover in his after his forced resignation last week.
And do you have a sense of the timing, Carrie, whether this is something that is going to need to go, they need to push it during the lame duck? Can they let it slide into 2019?
Advocates I'm talking to, both Democrats and Republicans, say they think this needs to get done now. There is going to be so much going on next year with the House driven by Democrats who want to do a lot of investigating and a lot of focus on health care and other issues. They believe the time for this to happen is now before the end of the year.
So, Carrie, I want you to stay with us because we want to talk about another issue that is front and center at the Justice Department, and that has to do with the man you just mentioned, the acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker. He was named after Jeff Sessions was fired. The public first heard from Mr. Whitaker today. For the first time, as we said, since he took on this role, he spoke to a group of state and local law enforcement officers in Des Moines, Iowa.
One thing hasn't changed in all of this change at the Department of Justice. You may have heard there's been a change or two at the Department of Justice. One thing that has not changed is our unwavering support for local law enforcement. The Trump administration will always be a law and order administration. We recognize public safety as the government's first and most important priority.
So, Carrie, again, this is the first time we've heard from Mr. Whitaker since he was named by President Trump to be acting. Today, there was a legal opinion issued at the Justice Department, essentially saying that his appointment by the president was legal, it was constitutional, because questions had been raised. Can you fill us in on that?
Yeah, legal experts, including Democrats and Republicans who had worked in the Justice Department in the past, had raised questions about the constitutionality of Matthew Whitaker becoming the acting Attorney General, basically leapfrogging above Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, the man who has been Senate confirmed. Today, the Trump Justice Department issued a 20-page legal opinion concluding that Matt Whitaker is legitimate, that his appointment as acting AG is lawful. This matters, Judy, because, the state of Maryland has challenged his appointment as part of an Obamacare-related lawsuit it has brought, and we expect other court challenges. The Trump DOJ basically says that historical precedent and laws lean toward Whitaker being the acting Attorney General. He's been at DOJ for over a year in a senior enough role that it's totally appropriate for him to be serving as acting AG. But what the Justice Department did not do today was opine about any ethics or impartiality issues Matt Whitaker may have, issues that a lot of Democrats in Congress have already been raising.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we still are hearing Democrats question that legal opinion that came out of Justice. A number of them put out statements today, including Nancy Pelosi, who, of course, is vying to be elected Speaker in the new House of Representatives, a leader of the Democrats. But other Democrats have come out with statements saying they question the legality of his appointment. But you're right, Carrie. The bigger question many have raised is whether Mr. Whitaker, is in a position to in any way interfere with the special counsel, with Robert Mueller's investigation. What's the understanding of that right now at Justice?
The Justice Department says that Whitaker will consult with ethics officials inside the Justice Department. These are career folks who stay whether the president is a Democrat or a Republican. But he is not committed to telling all of us what their advice might be. And he is not committed to following their advice, whatever it is. That's why Democrats like Jerry Nadler, who may be the next chairman of the House Judiciary Committee next year, say his first order of business is going to be calling Matthew Whitaker to testify under oath. There are real concerns about whether he can be impartial in the Mueller probe because as an op-ed contributor to CNN and on social media before he joined the Justice Department, he seemed to endorse President Trump's idea that this Russia probe was a witch hunt, and that the president was okay to fire FBI Director Jim Comey, and that there was really no point in doing this deep dive investigation, which the special counsel team has been doing for over a year and a half now.
And what has Mr. Whitaker said on this?
Whitaker has basically said that he believes that he will. He has basically said that he has not refused or declined to recuse himself. So it's unclear where he stands right now. There are people inside the Justice Department who say he would not have been appointed acting attorney general had he already agreed to recuse himself from this matter. That would have angered President Trump, and he never would have gotten this job in the first place. So there are big open questions about that right now.
Certainly are big open questions. Carrie Johnson following it all at the Justice Department. Thank you very much.
Thank you.